The air in the small, cramped kitchen in Northern Virginia tasted like stale cigarettes and desperation. Cassidy stared at the woman across from her. This was the same woman who had tucked her into bed 20 years ago, and the same woman who hadn't sent so much as a happy birthday text since the Bush administration. Elena's hands were shaking as she pushed a stack of overdue utility bills and a foreclosure notice across the chipped laminate table. "We raised you, Cassidy," Elena whispered, her voice cracking. "We gave you life. Now, we're drowning. You're our only daughter. You're our only hope." Behind Elena stood Richard. He didn't look at Cassidy. He looked at her designer handbag. He looked at her polished shoes. He looked at her like she wasn't a person, but a winning lottery ticket he had forgotten in an old coat pocket. "We need $400,000, Richard said, his voice devoid of any warmth. "To clear the house, the credit cards, and set up a fund so we don't end up on the street. It's the least you owe us for 18 years of room and board." Cassidy felt a cold, sharp stone settle in her chest. She had spent 15 years building a life out of the wreckage they left behind. She had $1.8 million sitting in her accounts, wealth she had clawed out of the earth with blood, sweat, and zero help. She looked at the foreclosure notice. Then she looked at the parents who had abandoned her when she needed them most. "You want to talk about what's owed?" Cassidy asked, her voice dangerously quiet. "Let's look at the books. Let's go back to the day the music died. In a purple state like Virginia, politics are always a battle, but in Cassidy's house, the war was personal. When Cassidy turned 18, her parents decided they were retiring from more than just their jobs. They were retiring from her. They sold her childhood home, pocketed the cash, and moved to a tiny condo. Their parting gift? A trash bag full of her clothes and a good luck, kid. No college fund. No cosigner for an apartment. Not even a hug. "You're an adult now," Richard had said as he locked the door. "Figure it out." And she did. Cassidy spent her 20s working 3 jobs. She waitressed until 2 a.m., then woke up at 6 a.m. to study for her accounting degree. She lived in a basement apartment in Arlington where the walls leaked when it rained. She called them once, 3 years in, when she was hospitalized with pneumonia and couldn't pay her rent. Elena had picked up the phone. "We're on a cruise, Cassidy. Don't be so dramatic. You've always been a drain on our energy." Click. That was the last time Cassidy cried over them. It was also the day she decided to become so rich she would never have to hear the word no again. If your parents left you with nothing but a trash bag of clothes, would you ever take their call 15 years later? For the next decade, Cassidy became a ghost. She specialized in forensic accounting, finding hidden money, tracking lies, and exposing the truth. While her peers were buying expensive cars and posting vacations on Instagram, Cassidy lived like she was still broke. She drove a used sedan. She shopped at thrift stores. But every spare cent went into high-yield index funds and strategic real estate in the growing Virginia suburbs. By the time she was 33, she hit the milestone. $1,800,000. She was a millionaire living in a modest apartment, her wealth hidden behind spreadsheets and discipline. She was safe. She was free. Until the letter arrived. Before we get to the moment Cassidy reveals the truth, make sure to subscribe to RevengeEcho. We tell the stories of the people who were pushed too far and decided to push back. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a payout. Cassidy sat in their kitchen now, listening to them beg. "We're family, Cassidy," Elena pleaded. "Blood is thicker than water." "Water doesn't leave you to starve in a basement," Cassidy replied. She opened her briefcase. She didn't pull out a checkbook. She pulled out a thick, blue folder. "You told me you lost your money because of bad luck and medical bills," Cassidy said, sliding a document across the table. "But I'm a forensic accountant, Mom. I don't believe in luck. I believe in receipts." Richard's face went pale. "I tracked your spending for the last 5 years," Cassidy continued. "The $80,000 you lost at the MGM National Harbor Casino. The $50,000 you sent to a romance scammer Richard thought was a 20-year-old model. And the $100,000 you blew on a lifestyle you couldn't afford just to look rich to your neighbors." How How did you get this? Richard stammered. I'm the best at what I do, Cassidy said. And what I do is find out where the bodies are buried. You didn't fall on hard times. You threw your life away, and now you want me to set mine on fire to keep you warm. The room was silent. You could hear the hum of the refrigerator, a refrigerator Cassidy realized was probably empty. I have the money, Cassidy said. Elena's eyes widened. You do? Oh, thank God. Cassidy, we can move. We can get a house with a guest suite for you. I have $1.8 million, Cassidy interrupted. The number hung in the air like a heavy weight. Their jaws literally dropped. To them, it was a mountain of gold. To Cassidy, it was the price of 15 years of loneliness. But here is the truth, Cassidy said, standing up. That money isn't for family. Because I don't have a family. I have 2 strangers who share my DNA and a history of ignoring my existence. She tucked the folder back into her bag. You told me 15 years ago to figure it out, Cassidy whispered, leaning over the table. Well, I figured it out. I figured out how to be happy without you. I figured out how to be rich without you. And today, I figured out exactly what you're worth. What are you saying? Elena sobbed. I'm saying the audit is closed, Cassidy said. The balance is 0. Don't call me again. As Cassidy walked out to her car, she didn't feel the rush of anger she expected. She felt light. She looked at the dilapidated house one last time. It was a ruin of bad choices and greed. She got into her car, checked her investment portfolio one last time, watching the numbers tick up by a few dollars even as she sat there, and drove away. She didn't change her number this time. She didn't have to. She knew they wouldn't call. Because bullies only call when they think you're weak. And Cassidy had just proven she was the strongest person they had ever met. The financial takeaway. In the world of personal finance, your greatest asset isn't your bank account, it's your boundaries. You don't have to look rich to be powerful. In fact, looking average is your best defense against predators. Never feel obligated to pay a debt to people who didn't invest in you when you were down. Financial independence is the ultimate revenge. The best way to stay protected is to stay informed. Subscribe to RevengeEcho for more stories of people who turned their trauma into a treasure chest.
Thanking you for watching RevengeEcho channel. Like, subscribe and comment where you are watching from.